Well, hey there, everybody. SeKo Starcraft bringing you some random recent pro games. We have Curious versus Marineking. You may or may not have heard of these guys. They're kind of big deals. But anywho, we've got my favorite matchup, Zerg versus Terran. Marineking, who is starting to come a little bit more into form lately, which is awesome. And we also have Curious, who was kind of a big deal, and I don't think he's really kind of been at the same level in quite a while. But it's alright. This is from WCS Korea. I can't remember which stage this was at, but obviously it wasn't at the beginning, so these guys are both playing pretty good in order to get to this point. Pardon me. And I'm interested mostly in watching somebody like Marineking play, because he's somebody that has quite often changed up play outside of the standard and moved into something that tends to throw his opponents off a little bit, even though a lot of the times it ends up costing Marineking. Very commonly on this map, we're Belcher Vestige, in case you didn't know. We start seeing a lot of Terrans that like going for that CC first, almost predictably so, which means that a lot of times we're seeing a lot of Zerg players that are specifically countering it. Now, we see a fairly standard opening from Curious here, so I don't think that that's going to be the case. But we also have a gas coming up with this barracks as well, so we might end up seeing some Reapers. Curious being a little bit of a dick. Punched him in the face a couple times. I was watching a recent StarCraft episode, the animated series. If you guys haven't seen that, by Carbot Animations, I believe it is. Super fun, super hilarious. I absolutely love watching that stuff. In a recent one, there's this really great moment. They show some of the funny subtleties of the game where there's like a burning barracks, and then there's 3 SCVs surrounded, drilling holes in the side to put out the fire, and somehow that puts out the fire. I thought that was just so funny, because of the irony that the only thing that an SCV actually really has to work with is like a drill and whatever the heck that the harvesting clamp is, or something on the other side. That's how he fights, that's how he works, that's how he kills, and that's how he repairs. Everything comes out of just essentially those like single units. So it is going to be the double Reaper opening, which is my favorite. Super safe, very standard. If you get some damage in, great, but if not, those Reapers will stay alive, they'll scout, they'll give you control of the map, and as you move into any type of Hellion play, they obviously keep up quite well with those units. They'll help you out a lot. Both queens have been started. Couple of lings on the way. That's really designed just to try to delay these Reapers from getting in too much damage. Almost gets that one. We'll throw down a spore. Actually does manage to pick off one of those. Now it's going to be a pretty cold day in hell before you can out micro Marineking. I like how he's still microing around the hatch here, like that's the big deal. Now finally both Reapers are there behind this. He is getting his command center and his factory. Oh, he actually does pick off that one. Great snipe there by Marineking. It is quite tough, if you guys haven't done that before, to take a couple of Reapers and try to select on moving units to snipe them off, because obviously those Reapers would rather be shooting the queen. So it's a pretty snazzy skill to have. Now those 2 lings who are running across the map, because what you can do if an opponent is making a low ground command center is send those 2 lings to be able to stop it. But unfortunately for our Zerg player, it was a high ground, and he got his lings intercepted anyways. Speed is on the way, nothing but drones. Once the speed is done, it's going to be pretty tough for these Reapers to get in any real damage. Once the Hellions come out though, he'll be in a bit better spot to put that harass back on again. As we see, he's just going to wait for probably to get up to 4, maybe 6 Hellions, and then he'll be out on the map putting on that pressure again, moving into standard bio play. Does have a tech lab, now starting his stim pack. You want to get that moving as quickly as you can. Unless you're going to be going for some sort of really aggressive fast 2-base push, then sometimes you'll see people get out the combat shields, just because it gets done a lot quicker and will support you more in the short term. Pretty fast lair. It's actually even before the third base. So that makes me wonder what kind of idea Curious has here, because that's a bit of an investment and a detraction from your ability to get out that better economy. He's even taking his other gases at this moment. So I'm thinking maybe he'll be throwing down his third hatcher pretty quick, but then moving into some sort of essentially 2-base muta. I think that would be... These lings were on move command and not attack command, otherwise they might have done better. Great pick-off there from Marineking. Kills essentially all the units. And now Curious has to make a giant pile of more lings just to make sure he doesn't die to this pressure. He does have queens out, but he doesn't have a third base. He's getting baneling and he's getting that spire as I thought he would. Now Hellions alone don't necessarily get in a ton of damage against queens, but when you have them in there with the Reapers as well, they'll actually chew through the stuff pretty quickly. And I think Marineking feels in a pretty secure position right now. Moving into his widowmine production, I'm sure that he is aware that some sort of tech is coming at him, and I would not be surprised to see a scan go down soon. Curious once again getting a bunch of his links caught out on the map. He did manage to pick off, I think, a Hellion or two. But as he's trying to move into the Spire tech, he really doesn't have a lot of resources, having been on 2 bases most of this time. Gotta be very careful he doesn't lose all those lings. If he does, it'll actually be very, very detrimental. And this is a fantastic timing for Marineking, I think, to deny this base and keep himself ahead on the economy. Engineering base just started though, so if he did need to get any type of missile turrets down, they're going to be a little bit delayed. A little bit of a bank of gas saved up there, so he's going to be able to get himself out 6 mutas. Coffee. And I don't think Marineking is too worried about getting in too much damage right now. Maybe deny a little bit of creep and stuff like that, but because the third base has been so far delayed, I think he's pretty happy with where he's at. These Marines will keep him safe from the muta attacks. Well, he has Stim finished. His other upgrades are a little bit further behind, but Stim's enough, even without the medevacs there, to really kind of, you know, keep control of everything. Now, we don't have any missile turrets at home. He's not a newbie player like me and just assumes that it's going to be mutas and therefore throws down a ton of missile turrets. He sees it now, so we do have a missile turret there. He's got his units now moving around so he can get his Marines back home if he needs to quickly. Let's see how quickly he can react. Those Marines popped out at a fantastic time. Managed to get a handful of SCVs there. He did lose 1 or 2 mutas, which isn't that great. Down quite a bit in supply. As a Terran player, if your opponent does go muta, that is an extremely big commitment of resources into trying to get that muta play. That tree just was in the way. Still holding the watchtowers, but Curious. Might as well. I don't think Marineking has exactly what he needs to bust this third base. He does have those Hellions, which are great, and a couple of widowmines. But he's got to be careful that they don't get too far ahead of the rest of his army here. That's what the mutas are here for, is to try to snipe out any of those pieces. He sees what's coming at him. The marauders in the front. Widowmine's going down. This is really going to be about who has better control right now, because there's enough banelings here to do good damage. They're running through the units. Not the best detonations though. A lot of those banelings went down on marauders. Next wave is inbound though. Another big hit on the marauders. Looks like Curious is going to be able to clean this up. Still got quite a bit of damage in here though. Oh, here's the reinforcements too. That's so crappy for Curious. There's no more banelings that are ready to go yet. That scan is to let him know if banelings are going to be coming at him. Fantastic attack timing. And I think that was more on Curious having that just a miscontrol, running into a lot of those banelings straight into marauders. More reinforcements chugging out. So you see, there's been no more missile turrets, no more panicking about that, because now that the Terran has the pressure on the Zerg player, he can feel very safe that he's not going to get attacked at home because of all the pressure that he has in front of him. Zerg player is pulling back. Almost snipes those medevacs. Once again, why you gotta try to move as a unit. This amount of mutas will be able to snipe off a medevac, a widowmine, marauder, anything like that. Now that the pressure has come off the Zerg, now all of a sudden he's in a better position. Oh, he still never finished up that. He'll get down these add-ons here at a cost of a muta, which I don't think is necessarily that great of a trade. I thought he was going to go for a drop, maybe. Wow, that wasn't the greatest move from Marineking. It probably could have went a little bit better, but he still came out of it alright. Baneling's got a bit bigger connects than he probably would have wanted. Creep has been very stifled down on one side. Banelings are just kind of like one aid into the army here. Very disappointing to see from Curious. I would expect a little bit better control on those Banelings. He's only got so many, his economy is so bad, he's got to treat those with a lot more respect. Ooh, a couple of real good widowmine shots down from the low ground there. Third base is cancelled again. Curious is on the ropes. Couple of banelings morphing in, but yeah, there's the GG. Fantastic play there out of Marineking. Really enjoyed the push timing he had there. Got there before the mutas. Curious, I don't know if I was a huge fan of the two-base muta play. I think that left him a little bit too weak on the ground when these forces started coming across, and his creep was never strong enough to really hold off this just great push timing from Marineking. Thanks everybody for tuning in. This has been SeKo Starcraft, and we will talk with you later.